ZZ, why thumping on it?
Brothers, we are at war with the people of Eurasia, the vile and ruthless aggressors who have committed countless atrocities and who are guilty of every bestial crime a human being can commit.
While the world waited, Saddam Hussein systematically raped, pillaged, and plundered a tiny nation, no threat to his own. He subjected the people of Kuwait to unspeakable atrocities. And among those maimed and murdered, innocent children.
They waste our land, destroyed our factories, looted our homes, massacred our children, and raped our women. They have tortured and killed the wounded and prisoners, contriving lingering and horrible deaths for those who fall into their hands.
While the world waited, Saddam sought to add to the chemical weapons arsenal he now possesses an infinitely more dangerous weapon of mass destruction, a nuclear weapon.
Mr. Bush, when are you going to apologize for the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraq being a threat.
At the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. Turns out he didn't.
Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in times of great deception and distress. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil, Father. Deliver us from these devils. From these devils. From these devils.
Weapons of mass destruction.
And while the world waited, while the world talked peace and withdrawal, Saddam Hussein dug in and moved massive forces into Kuwait.
While our gallant forces are engaged in a life and death struggle, we face on the home front an enemy who is far more dangerous. One of our own people, the arch-traitor Canada.
While the world waited, Saddam Hussein met every overture of peace with open contempt. While the world prayed for peace, Saddam prepared for war.
He says the Eurasians are good, kind people. They do not want war. They want peace. He actually begs you to make peace with your brothers of Eurasia. Hate.
The United States, together with the United Nations, exhausted every means at our disposal to bring this crisis to a peaceful end. However, Saddam clearly felt that by stalling and threatening and defying the United Nations, he could weaken the forces arrayed against him. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a new world order, a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
President Biden delivering his debut speech to the United Nations, calling for global cooperation to combat climate change and COVID.
Bombs and bullets cannot defend against COVID-19. We need a collective act of science and political will.
Trained in persuasive techniques, PSYOP soldiers use their skills to change attitudes, behaviors, values, beliefs, and influence foreign audiences through executing actions in the delivery of messages utilizing a variety of techniques.
Tactical PSYOP team.
And he said, never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact on climate change and energy security, and that's what we're trying to do.
We've ended 20 years of conflict in Afghanistan. And as we close this period of relentless war, we're opening a new era of relentless diplomacy.
Topping that list, climate change, ahead of a crucial summit this fall. President Biden vowing to double American aid to poorer nations, tackling the climate crisis.
Whether we choose to fight for our shared future or not will reverberate for generations yet to come.
And he said, never waste a good crisis.
Now, new warnings of more massive groups of Haitian migrants possibly on the way to the U.S. Internal documents obtained by NBC News show DHS officials tracking more than 20,000 gathering in Colombia, 3,000 others in Peru, and another 1,500 people in Panama. During a border visit today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott blaming the surge on President Biden's more relaxed border policies.
When you have an administration that has abandoned any pretense of securing the border and securing our sovereignty, you see the onrush of people like what we saw walking across this dam.
The climate crisis also fueling the crisis at the U.S. border. Hundreds of thousands so desperate they're making the dangerous trek north. Like Darwin Mendez, he tried crossing 3 times. He now owes smugglers nearly $30,000 in a country where most people make $6 a day.
As a global community, we're challenged by urgent and looming crises, wherein lie enormous opportunities.
And he said, never waste a good crisis.
Wherein lie enormous opportunities if we can summon the will and resolve to seize these opportunities. Will we work together to save lives, defeat COVID-19 everywhere, and take the necessary steps to prepare ourselves for the next pandemic, for there will be another one? Or will we fail to harness the tools at our disposal as the more virulent and dangerous variants take hold?
Crowds like this, they're for cowards. Cowards who seek to hide their identity and conduct other activities, do other things that if they were by themselves, they wouldn't have the courage to do.
A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
It's easy, why? Something on it.